Hi guys, welcome back to next episode of Director Chat. Today we're looking at the bizarre world of Martin Scorsese. So let's get into it. Welcome back to next episode of Director's Chat, where we're looking at directors. Looking at Martin Scorsese, looking at all his movies, how I thought about them. So start. It will start in 1967, where he directed Who's That Knocking at My Door, originally titled I Call First. This was an independent drama film. This was Martin Scorsese's first one. It starred Harvey Keitel and Zena Berthune, and it made $16,000 on a $70,000 budget. So yeah, it was well received. It's one of my favorite Scorsese movies. This was his first movie. So yeah. Then in 1972 we had Boxcar Bertha. This was a romantic crime drama, and it starred Barbara Hershey, David Carradine, Barry Primers, Bernie Casey, and John Carradine. And this was I don't know the budget, but this is also it's a loose adaptation of Sister of the Road, and it was Scorsese's second film. Now I haven't seen this movie; those two I've not seen. So let's move on to in 1973 we had Mean Streets. This was Harvey Keitel, Robert De Niro, David Proval, Amy Robinson, Richard Romanus, and Cesar De Nova, and made around $3 million on a $500,000 budget. I think this was his first movie. Martin Scorsese did Robert De Niro. Received positive reviews, and I've not seen this one either. So, then 1974 we had Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and this is a comedy drama film. This one Ellen Burstyn, Chris Christopherson, and Alex Luther, and it made $21 million on $1.8 million budget. It received positive reviews. I think it did. It was a TV show called Alice, which it doesn't star any of the anyone from the movie. It ran for 9 seasons and 202 episodes. From between 1976 and 1985. I haven't seen this one either. Then 1970. Hold on a second. 1976 we had Taxi Driver. This was his next film. This came in 1976, and this was a neo-noir psychological drama film. And this starred Robert De Niro, Jodie Foster, Albert Brooks, Harvey Keitel, Leonard Harris, Peter Boyle, and Sybil Shepherd. And it made $28.6 million on $1.9 billion budget. It was a commercial success despite generating controversy for its graphic violence in the climactic ending and the casting of then 14-year-old Foster in the role of a child prostitute. The film has remained popular and is considered one of the most significant and inspirational of its time, and one of the greatest films ever made. And I think it's probably one of Martin Scorsese's best films. I really like this movie. And then 1977 we had New York, New York. Now this was a musical drama film. I saw Liz Minnelli and Robert De Niro, and it made $16.4 million, $40 million budget. This one's okay. It's not one of my favorite, but I enjoy it. Then 1980 we had Raging Bull. This was a biographical sports drama film. It's adapted by the 19th century memoir, Raging Bull, My Story. This is based on Raging Bull. Jake LaMotta. So yeah, it made $23.4 million on $18 million budget. it had a lukewarm box office. The film received mixed reviews upon release. While De Niro's performance and the editing of Harley Quinn, it garnered criticism due to its violent content, despite mixed reviews. After its release, Raging Bull went on to garner high critical praise. It's now considered one of the greatest films ever made. I think it's one of my favorite Martin Scorsese movies. Then in 1982, 1982, we had The King of Comedy, and that was a satirical crime film. It starred Robert De Niro, Jerry Lewis, Sandra Bernhard, and Diane Abbott. It made $2.5 million on $90 million budget, making a box office bomb, but received mostly positive reviews from critics. And it's also Jerry Lewis' final film for 20th Century Fox, and it had positive reviews. And yeah, it bombed at the box office, but it has lots of people like this movie. It's not my favorite, but I still like it. And then 1985, we had Off. That was a black comedy thriller film. The starred Griffin Dunn, Roseanne Arquette, Werner Bloom, Thomas Chong, Linda Ferretta, Terry Garr, John Hurd, Richard Cheech Marin, and Catherine O'Hara. And it made $10.6 million, $4.5 million budget. It was critically acclaimed for its black humor, and it's considered to be a cult film. And yeah, this one, I actually like this movie, so it's After Hours. Then 1986, we had The Color of Money. This is a sports drama film. Starred Paul Newman, Tom Cruise, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, and Helen Shava. It made $52.3 million or $40 million budget. It's based on the 1984 novel of the same name by Walter Tevis. And this one's good. Actually, I think Paul Newman's good in this, and Tom Cruise's good in this as well. The 1988, I think, 1988, we had The Last Temptation of Christ, which is an epic religious drama film. It stars William Dafoe, Harvey Keitel, Barbara Hershey, Harry Dean Stanton, and David Bowie. It made $33.8 million and $7 million budget. It's based on the novel. It's a novel of Nikos Kazantzakis' controversial 1955 novel of the same name. Like the novel was based on, the film generated controversy from Christian religion groups at the time of its release, who took issue with its departure from the gospel narratives. It received positive reviews and some from critics and some religious leaders. This one is a really good Scorsese movie. I think William Dafoe is good in this. And then in 1989, we had New York Stories, which is an anthology film. I talked about this on the Coppola one. This was directed by Woody Allen, Francis Ford Coppola, and Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese directed a segment. It made $10.7 million and $15 million budget. And it had positive reviews. He directed, I think, the life lessons segment. So 1990, he directed Goodfellas, which Goodfellas was a biographical crime film. It's an adaptation of the 1985 non-fiction book Wise Guy. It starred Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Lorraine Bracco, and Paul Sorvino. And so it made $47.1 million and $25 million budget. It received widespread acclaim upon release, and it's widely considered one of the greatest films ever made, particularly in the gangster genre. And it was positive. I think it's one of my favorite, probably my favorite Scorsese movies. So it was Goodfellas. And then in 1991, we had Cape Fear. Now this was a psychological thriller. It's a remake of the 1962 film of the same name, which was based on the 1957 novel The Executioners. This stars Robert De Niro, Nick Nolte, Jessica Lange, John Don Baker, Robert Mitchum, and Gregory Peck, and it made $182.3 million, $35 million budget. See positive reviews. I think this is probably even better. I think this is one of the times where the remake is actually better than the original film, which I've not seen the original film, but this one is way better. This I highly recommend you check this one. Even The Simpsons parodied this in one episode. It was called Cape Fear, and This one's a great. Martin Scorsese's great in this. You have Robert De Niro, and this you have Robert De Niro, and you have Nick Nolte. This is one of the best films he's done. And then 1993 we had The Age of Innocence. This is based on the 1920 novel by Edith Wharton, and it starred Daniel Day-Lewis, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Winona Ryder. It made 68 million. And yeah, this one is a good movie. It's not my favorite. It's really not my favorite Scorsese movie, but I really like. It's fine. Then 1995 we had Casino. Now this was an epic crime film. This starred Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, Don Rickles, Kevin Pollak, and James Woods. I made 160.1 million of $40 to $50 million budget. It received mostly positive reviews and was a wide box office success. Stone's performance was singled out for acclaim, and this one's good. It's not as good as Goodfellas, but I still enjoy it for what it is as Casino. And then 1997 we had then 1997 we had Condom, and this was an epic biographical film, and it starred. I don't know any of their names. I'm not gonna watch them, but it made $5.7 million, $28 million budget. But yeah, it's based on the life and writings of Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama. Yeah, so it's okay. Yeah, so it's an okay movie by Scorsese. Then 1999 we had Bring Out the Dead. Now this was a psychological drama. This starred Nicolas Cage, Patricia Arquette, John Goodman, Ving Rhames, and Tom Sizemore. I made 16.8 million, a $32 million budget. I received positive reviews. I actually enjoy this movie. And yeah, Nicolas Cage is good in this movie. And yeah, I actually enjoy this movie for what it is. I think it's a really good movie. That's Bringing Out the Dead. The 2002 we had Gang of New York. Gangs of New York. This is an epic historical drama. It's based on Herbert Ashbury's 1927 book, The Gangs of New York, that was the same name. It made 193.8 million, a $97 million budget. It starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, Cameron Diaz, Jim Broadbent, John C. Reilly, Henry Thomas, and Brendan Gleeson. And yeah, this had positive reviews. And yeah, Gangs of New York was completed by 2001, but its release was delayed due to the September 11 attacks. It was released theatrically in 2002. It received generally positive reviews, and Daniel Day-Lewis' performance was highly acclaimed. I actually enjoyed this movie. Then 2004, we have The Aviator. This was an epic biographical drama film, and this starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Kate Beckinsale, John C. Reilly, Alec Baldwin, Alan Alda, and Jude Law. It made $213.7 million, $110 million budget. It received positive reviews, with critics praising DiCaprio and Blanchett's performance. It says Scorsese's direction, and this one's a really good movie. I really enjoy this movie. Then in 2006 we had The Departed. Now this was an epic crime thriller film. It's a remake. It's both a remake of the 2002 Hong Kong film Infernal Affairs, and also loosely based on the real-life Boston Winter Hill Gang. This starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, Ray Winstone, Vera Farmiga, and Alec Baldwin, and it made $291.5 million on a $90 million budget. The film was critical commercial, receiving acclaim for its direction performances, partook of DiCaprio, Nicholson, and Wahlberg, screenplay and editing, with minor criticism for its plot holes. There was going to be a sequel, but Scorsese didn't do it due to lack of interest in creating a sequel. But this movie was great. I really enjoyed this movie. So it's Departed. Then in 2010 we had Shutter Island. Now this was A neo-noir psychological thriller. It's based on a 2003 novel of the same name. This starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, Michelle Williams, Amy Portimer, Patricia Clarkson, and Max von Sydow. Um, it made $299.5 million on an $80 million budget. It was during positive reviews, and yeah, this was really good. There was going to be a TV show. Paramount Television HBO were brainstorming a TV series called Ashcliff, which would serve as an origin story for the film, but it never happened. And there was a video game on the PC, and Nintendo DS1 was planned, but it was cancelled. But this movie was absolutely great. Leonardo DiCaprio was great in this movie. And yeah, so 2011 we had Hugo. This was an adventure drama film. This starred Ben Kingsley, Sacha Baron Cohen, Asa Butterfield, Chloe Grace Moretz, Ray Winstone, Emily Portimer, and Jude Law. It made $185.8 million, $170 million budget, making a box office bomb. But it received positive acclaim from critics. And I remember when this movie came out, I didn't watch it at the time. I did watch it eventually. And this is also based on Brian Selvig's 2007 book, The Invention of Hugo Cabaret. And this one's a good movie by Scorsese. It's really underrated one. Not many people talk about this one. So that's Hugo. Then 2013, we had The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, this was an epic biographical black comedy crime film. It's based on Jordan Belfort's 2007 memoir of the same name. And this starred Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie, Matthew McConaughey, Kyle Chandler, Rob Reiner, Jon Favreau, and Jean Dujardin. It made $406.9 million on a $100 million budget, which it was the first major American exclusive through digital distribution. It was a major success. It made $406.9 million during its theatrical, becoming Scorsese's highest-grossing film. The film was controversial for its moral ambiguity and lack of sympathy for victims, as well as explicit sexual content, extreme profanity, depiction of hard drug use, and use of animals during production. And yeah, it set a winning Guinness World Records for the most instances of swearing in a film. And I like Margot Robbie's good in this movie. I also like Jonah Hill and DiCaprio and Matthew McConaughey. So The Wolf of Wall Street. Then 2016 we had Silence. This was an epic historical drama based on the 1966 novel same name by Shaku Endo, and it made $23.8 million on $40 to $50 million budget, making a box office bomb. However, it received critical acclaim. This starred Andrew Garfield, Adam Driver, Tado Obu Asano, and Sharon Hines, and Liam Neeson. And yeah, so this one's a really good movie. And then in 2019 we had The Irishman. Now this was an epic gangster film. Is based on the 2004 nonfiction book I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandt. This only made $8 million on 159 to 259 budget. This was released in cinemas, and it was also released on Netflix. And yeah, this is the 9th collaboration between Scorsese and De Niro. This stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel, Anna Paquin, Ray Romano, Stephen Graham, and Bobby Cannavale. And this one is actually good. I did watch it on Netflix. This was actually a good movie. It had a limited theatrical release on November 1st, 2019, followed by digital streaming on Netflix starting on November 27th, 2019. It received universal acclaim with praise for Scorsese's direction, production, costume design, editing, screenplay, cinematography, the use of de-aging effects, and performance of De Niro, Pacino, and Pesci. And this one's a really good. I enjoy this one. And this is the 4th collaboration with Martin Scorsese and Joe Pesci, and that is first with Al Pacino. And this one's a really good movie. I enjoy it. And then this brings us to the recent movie, which is Killers of the Flower Moon. This again distributed by Apple TV and Paramount Plus. I think it's going to cinemas. And this is based on this is a Western crime film. This is based on 2017 on non-fiction book Killers of the Flower Moon, the Osage Murders and the Birth of FBI. This stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, Lily Gladstone, Tantu Cardinal, Brendan Fraser, John Lithgow. And yeah, this one, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope this is good. But Yeah, this will be on Apple TV. I'll watch when it comes out. And that's pretty much it. That is the bizarre world of Martin Scorsese. You know, I like Martin Scorsese. He did lots of films. I don't think he's made a bad film. I think all of them are good. Um, yeah, that's Martin Scorsese. Comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite Martin Scorsese movie. And that is Bizarre World of Martin Scorsese. Guys, so much for my video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.